He's got the stuff to get over the hump.
Breakthrough fight for Andre Ward. Really, looking back on my career, my most important fight, Arturo Leon, when I was fighting a 15-rounder. It was like Andre is here. Everybody was thinking about me. I was kind of like the big guy, and fortunately went on to victory. But it is a lot of pressure on your back, and I know Andre is feeling that pressure. But you know what? Andre is so great, concentrating and focused, and that's what he's trying to do here.
Ruben Williams was very straightforward with us today at our fighter meetings. We asked him what's the significance of this fight for you, and he said the significance is I've got to have a win.
Make it or break it. This is his career.
There are some.
You know what? He does have little to lose if he puts up a good fight. If he gets in there and he still puts up a good fight, even if he doesn't win, he still is marketable because other people want to compare themselves to Andre Ward.
There's the first of those jabs from Williams, and now Andre Ward jabs to the body.
Best way to kill a jab is to out-jab your opponent if he tries to jab with you, and or go a right hand under the jab, right on the short rib there on the left side of your opponent's body.
And Ward with his first hard punch of the fight. You'll notice we mentioned we talk a lot about Ruben Williams' jab, and it is long, it is hard. But he often puts that left hand down low, and he brings it up. He brings that jab up from the trunk line.
That is an unusual jab. I don't like that all the time. Sometimes I like the hands up like this, like he has them right there, Ruben, and jabs from that position. Down there sometimes is okay, but he's a 73-inch reach. Ward is 71, so he would outreach him with a jab. See that jab down there too. You flick it up too. It's kind of an unusual jab to get hit with. Flick your opponent right under his chin or right under his nose. Hit him in the nose, both your eyes water. Good feint. Look at that foot feint from Andre.
Ruben Williams, very flat-footed. Wide stance, very flat-footed.
Both of them trying to size up their opponent here in this first round. Look at that feint from Ward. Feint your opponent out of position, then make him pay.
Andre SOG Ward. SOG meaning son of God. Very religious.
Let him go.
Oh, I thought that was Sean O'Grady. SOG? I didn't know. I thought, yeah.
Sorry to burst your bubble here.
Go, dude. Let him go. Let him go.
Now, not only the jab, sometimes Andre just puts out there his hand just to kind of feint or to put it in front of your vision of your opponent, try to get him going for your hand and crack him to the right.
Now Ward's starting to reach Williams with jabs, and that would be trouble for Ruben if that's the case. Oh, and a good left hook by Ward. And a right uppercut by Ward.
Ward just faster than Ruben in this first.
Overhand right, falls short by Andre Ward at the bell. We go back into the corner with Ruben Hollywood Williams, 31 years old, out of Detroit, Michigan.
Hey, Ruben, sit back, wait. Sit back, wait. Now, what he's doing is trying to get low and basically hit you with a body. Look, check hooking. Every time you bite with a jab, every time you go down, check hook. Long, don't short it up. Long hook, and the bang right.
Hey, just drop that southpaw on. Come on. Okay? Stay focused.
All right, Ruben Williams getting ready now then for the start of round 2. Talk to Andre Ward. That last 30 seconds really started to come on.
And really a busy first round, too. They kind of sized each other up in the middle portion of that first round, but fast-paced round for a couple of super middleweights. Patting that front punch, that jab. Pitter pat right down your opponent's jab and then jab over his left.
Andre Ward hasn't lost a fight since he was 13 years old. That's a long time ago. I asked him today if he could remember who it was that beat him when he was 13. He goes, oh yeah, Jesus Gonzalez, blue and gold tournament in Baldwin Park down in Southern California.
Yeah, right away. Only 4 losses in his life, in his boxing life. student of the game, too. Loves the sport of boxing. Good jab. Good jab. Good jab from Andre. Ruben comes back with a jab.
Not busy yet.
No.
Ruben Williams. He was far more busy in his fight with Jeff Lacy. You better get that jab to work, because otherwise Andre Ward is going to pick up confidence and he's going to be out hustled.
The jab controls everything. The jab is the most important weapon in boxing. It sets up your complete attack. Jab both offense and defense. Get that jab working, then you can land your right. Then you can land your hook.
Williams a good counter puncher as well.
Williams was
the
saying,
right hand behind that jab.
Ruben in his last fight was saying in his last fight that he had some ring rust. He just didn't feel right. He couldn't get going. He couldn't get off. I'll tell you what, that jab gets you going. Get that jab moving. Last fight, of course, with Alan Green that we talked about.
Green, a very fine contender in his own right.
Terrific boxer, Alan Green. Hard to get anything going with Alan Green. He is really good.
Williams beginning to snap that jab out now. Andre Ward had kind of a curious look on his face there, a little bit of a smile, and shook his head.
Oh, and there's a cut. There's a cut on the outside orbital of the left eye of Ruben Williams. Blood streaming down. Keep an eye on that. You know, if it's your opponent, you zero in on that blood. Use it as a target. Try to also spin your hands to augment the cut a little bit more.
Half minute to go in round 2. Sean, it looks as though Andre Ward is using his left hand almost like as a kind of a measuring stick out there, looking for the right hand.
Measuring for that right. I mean, just now the right would do well because of where the location of the cut. Remember, that cut is on the left eye of Ruben Williams. So the right hand is the punch that would do most of the damage to that right eye.
Final seconds of round 2. They'll have to do some work on that cut between rounds.
Accidental headbutt.
The series that's been...
All right, back getting ready now for round 3. Andre Ward, Ruben Hollywood Williams. Williams was cut, corner of the left eye in round 2. Referee John Shorley told us between rounds that it was an accidental headbutt. But Williams will have to deal with that now, and is backing up and backing away from Andre Ward, who looks as though he wants to pick up the pace. First of all, how discouraging is that cut, do you think, to a veteran?
Oh, it's very discouraging to anyone if you get a cut. He's a veteran. He's been through this before. So he puts it behind him. He's focused on the fight, Ruben Williams is. Now, between rounds, the referee, John Shorley, went over to Andre Ward's corner just to say, you know, watch your heads. Accidental headbutt there. Just watch your head. You know, you're so focused in a fight. Many times, I never even knew I was cut when I got cut in fights. So it may be the case, well, he knows now, Ruben does, but it may be told to him by his corner.
Andre Ward switching to a southpaw stance here in the 3rd round.
Something he does not do very often, but he's real effective with that.
Well, he certainly was there, putting a left cross and another straight left cross. He may stay southpaw the rest of the fight. That quick combination. And Andre Ward looks as though he's ready to take control of this fight. And Ruben Williams is not showing what he has shown in the past so far.
Not at all. Kind of in his shell now. You know what? That cut may mentally have done him some damage with a fighter of his background. He's been through this before.
Oh, combination from Ward drives Ruben Williams into the ropes.
Williams needs to get those hands moving. Yes, remember that jab in the first 2 rounds? It's absent here.
Williams trying to rip a right hand to the body. Has a long reach. But Andre Ward has been able to successfully take that jab away from him here and that reach away from him here.
And that right, just on the cut. Look at the left hand now. That's where that left hand is dangerous of Williams, that he keeps down by his leg.
And he will jab from there. There it is.
He will, but he needs to be protecting that eye. That left eye.
Nice jab from Andre Ward. Ward Ward drives Williams into the ropes. Williams looking tentative. And Andre Ward picking it up. Andre might be dreaming of a quick stoppage here.
Ward would love a KO in this fight. He would love a KO because of the Green fight with Williams. He wants to draw to some kind of, he wants fans to draw some kind of parallel with him and Alan Green. He wants to fight the best in the world. Andre Ward.
Into the final seconds of round 3. Williams tries to drive a left hand to the body. Here comes Ward forward, and there's the bell ending. Round 3.
Good job, baby. Warming up now, man.
Confusion over there in the face of Williams.
A lot better. Hey, listen. Listen what he's doing right here. I mean, look at what he's doing.